perfect circles dotting the landscape, rings of vibrant green grass, often adorned with a delicate halo of mushrooms. These are fairy rings, and for centuries they have sparked fear and wonder in equal measure. Are they merely natural phenomena, easily explained by science? Or do they hold a deeper, more ancient magic? Our exploration will take us from the rolling hills of Ireland to the ancient forests of England. We'll venture into the haunting beauty of Iceland, where the Huldu folk, or hidden people, are said to dwell in the shadows. We will examine the chilling tales of those who dared to enter the rings, some vanishing without a trace, others returning forever changed. Are you ready to step into a world where the veil between reality and fantasy thins? Subscribe to our channel for more mysterious and intriguing content. Join us on this journey into the unknown.
For millennia, fairy rings have been woven into the fabric of folklore, whispered from generation to generation. In Celtic mythology, fairy rings were believed to be gateways to the realm of the Fae, a mystical dimension inhabited by fairies, sprites, and creatures, both enchanting and perilous. Legend held that these rings marked the spots where fairies danced beneath the light of the full moon. The folklore surrounding fairy rings served not only to explain their existence, but also to warn of their potential dangers.
Among the most enduring and unsettling tales surrounding fairy rings are those of disappearances. Stories abound of people who, enticed by curiosity, stepped within the boundaries of a fairy ring, only to vanish without a trace. One such tale, whispered in hushed tones across the Scottish Highlands, tells of a shepherd who, while tending his flock, came across a particularly large and vibrant fairy ring. When the fog lifted, the shepherd was gone, along with his flock, leaving behind only the silent circle of the fairy ring.
While some tales speak of those who vanished entirely, others whisper of individuals who emerged from their encounter with a fairy ring forever marked by their experience. Folklore is rife with warnings about the dangers of disturbing these sacred circles. One recurring theme is that of fairy gifts, seemingly benevolent offerings that often come with a sinister twist. A farmer might find his crops flourishing after discovering a fairy ring in his field, only to have his livestock fall mysteriously ill. Tales abound of individuals who, after stepping within the circle, were struck down with sudden illness or afflicted with strange ailments that defied explanation.
In the bright light of modern science, the mystical allure of fairy rings might seem like little more than superstition. Mycologists, scientists who study fungi, offer a rational explanation for these enigmatic circles. Fairy rings, they explain, are formed by the outward growth of certain types of fungi, most commonly mushrooms. As the mycelium network expands, it decomposes organic matter, releasing nutrients that stimulate the growth of lush green grass in a ring-like pattern.
Despite the compelling evidence offered by science, the enduring power of folklore surrounding fairy rings cannot be easily dismissed. Some researchers suggest that fairy rings might represent points of heightened energy or magnetic anomalies. They propose that the mycelium networks of fungi might be sensitive to subtle energy fields that are undetectable by current scientific instruments. Could it be that these areas of heightened energy are what drew our ancestors to perceive them as gateways to other realms? The debate between science and magic, logic and wonder, continues to fuel our fascination with fairy rings. The enduring power of fairy rings lies in their ability to spark our imaginations, to remind us that there is still magic to be found in the everyday, if only we know where to look.
Ireland, the land of shamrocks and leprechauns, holds a special place in the lore of fairy rings. Across its emerald hills and valleys, these enigmatic circles are woven into the very fabric of the landscape. One such place is the Hill of Tara, the ancient seat of the High Kings of Ireland. Legend has it that on Samhain, the eve of the Celtic New Year, the veil between our world and theirs thins, and those brave enough to step within the ring might catch a glimpse of the Fae folk dancing beneath the moonlight.
Across the Irish Sea, the rolling hills and ancient forests of England hold their own share of fairy ring legends. From the windswept moors of Yorkshire to the mystical woodlands of Glastonbury, these enigmatic circles whisper tales of enchantment, danger, and the hidden realm of the Fae. One of the most famous fairy rings in England lies within the heart of Sherwood Forest, the legendary stomping ground of Robin Hood and his merry men. Local folklore claims that the ring marks the spot where Robin Hood and Maid Marian were wed, their vows witnessed by the ancient oaks and the spirits of the forest. In the land of fire and ice, where glaciers carve through volcanic landscapes and the northern lights paint the sky with ethereal hues, fairy rings take on an even more otherworldly quality. Icelandic folklore is rich with tales of the Huldufolk, hidden people said to dwell in rocks, hills, and of course fairy rings. One of the most well-known fairy ring legends in Iceland centres around Alfol, or Elf Hill, a small hill located in the capital city of Reykjavik. Believing it to be an elf dwelling, they rerouted the road, leaving the rock and the fairy ring undisturbed. Fairy rings, far from being benign circles of vibrant grass, are often depicted in folklore as heavily guarded domains. These guardians, however, are not the benevolent protectors one might expect. Goblins, those grotesque caricatures of humanity, are frequently associated with fairy rings. Their laughter carries on the wind, a chilling symphony of malicious glee, a warning to those who would trespass upon their domain. Those who survive an encounter with the guardians of the fairy rings often carry the mark of their experience, both physically and mentally. Farmers tell tales of crops withering and dying, livestock falling ill and perishing, all after a fairy ring appeared in their fields. Some believe that the Fae, angered by the intrusion upon their domain, poison the land, their touch leaving behind a lingering taint that no amount of sunshine or rain can cleanse. Some fairy rings are not merely guarded, but inherently cursed. Legend has it that these rings mark the sites of ancient battles, tragic deaths, or places where the veil between our world and the other world is particularly thin. The very ground is saturated with a palpable sense of dread, a warning to those who would dare to tread upon it. Those who step within their boundaries may find themselves face to face with the spirits of the departed, their spectral forms drawn to the residual energy of the mortal realm.
Among the most perplexing phenomena associated with fairy rings are the tales of missing time. Individuals claim to have entered these enigmatic circles, only to emerge with hours or even days unaccounted for, their memories fragmented and shrouded in an unsettling fog. These stories often begin innocently enough. A hiker, captivated by the ethereal beauty of a fairy ring nestled amongst ancient trees, might pause to admire its delicate mushrooms, or the vibrant green grass within its circle. However, upon returning to their intended path, they find that hours have passed, their companions frantic with worry.
The concept of parallel dimensions, once relegated to the realm of science fiction, has gained increasing attention in the world of theoretical physics. Could fairy rings, with their unsettling connection to missing time and distorted realities, be physical manifestations of these theoretical dimensions? Some proponents of this theory suggest that fairy rings act as interdimensional doorways, activated by specific conditions such as lunar cycles, electromagnetic fluctuations, or even human consciousness itself. They believe that the Fae, those enigmatic beings of folklore, might be interdimensional entities capable of traversing these boundaries at will. The human experience of time is linear, a steady progression from past to present to future. Yet, the tales of missing time associated with fairy rings suggest that this perception might be an illusion, a limited understanding of a far more complex reality. Could these enigmatic circles hold the key to unlocking the secrets of time itself? Some researchers believe that fairy rings might be located at points of temporal instability, where the boundaries between past, present, and future become blurred. Deep within ancient texts, passed down through generations of mystics, lie whispered rituals for contacting the inhabitants of the fairy rings. These rituals, often shrouded in secrecy and steeped in symbolism, promise a glimpse into the realm of the Fae. One such ritual involves gathering specific herbs and flowers said to be favored by the Fae, weaving them into a wreath and placing it within the center of a fairy ring under the light of a full moon. But the rituals are not to be undertaken lightly, for calling upon the Fae is akin to summoning a tempestuous force of nature, unpredictable, capricious, and potentially deadly. The Fae, for all their beauty and grace, are not benevolent beings. They are creatures of primal power, their motives often inscrutable, their actions governed by a moral code that defies human understanding. Those who approach the Fae with demands or attempt to bind them to their will often find themselves outwitted, their desires twisted and turned against them. A wish for wealth might be granted, but at the cost of something far more precious: love, family, or even the soul itself.
The rise of the digital age has brought with it a surge of interest in the paranormal. Amateur investigators, armed with cameras, motion sensors, and electromagnetic field detectors, flock to sites of reported supernatural activity. Fairy rings, with their long-standing association with the supernatural, have become prime targets for these modern-day ghost hunters. While many of these images and videos can be easily dismissed as hoaxes or natural phenomena misinterpreted through the lens of belief, some remain unexplained, their authenticity debated amongst believers and skeptics alike. Some paranormal investigators, not content with simply observing from a distance, have attempted to directly interact with the forces they believe to be present within fairy rings. These intrepid individuals, often armed with nothing more than a camera and a healthy dose of courage, or perhaps foolhardiness, spend the night within the confines of a ring, hoping to document their experiences and to make contact with the unknown. One such investigator, a self-proclaimed paranormal researcher named Dr. Emily Carter, decided to spend a night within a particularly active fairy ring located deep within the forests of the American Pacific Northwest. Armed with a variety of cameras, audio recorders, and electromagnetic field detectors, she set up camp within the ring, determined to document whatever might transpire.
Fairy rings, circles of mystery and enchantment, are they merely products of nature's artistry, easily explained by science? Or are they remnants of a time when magic wove itself through the fabric of reality? Gateways to realms beyond our understanding, we've journeyed through folklore and science, explored ancient tales and modern-day encounters. We've glimpsed the creatures that might guard these enigmatic circles, the curses that might linger within their boundaries, and the possibility that they may hold the key to unlocking the secrets of time, space, and the very nature of reality itself. The choice, as always, remains yours. Will you heed the warnings whispered through generations, respecting the ancient power that might still reside within these enigmatic circles? Or will you, driven by curiosity or a thirst for the unknown, take that fateful step, crossing the threshold into a realm where anything is possible? But be warned, once you enter the realm of the fairy rings, nothing is ever quite the same again. The world, once a place of predictable laws and tangible realities, takes on a new and unsettling dimension, forever tinged with the magic, mystery, and the very real danger that lie hidden within the heart of the fairy ring.